interest of time, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is now 6:30. I believe everyone's finished with their meals. Everyone, please stand for the flag ceremony. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, thank you for your blessings for us this evening. Please continue to give us your guidance and blessings for the members of our community, our elected government officials, our first responders, and everyone else who pays allegiance to you. Amen. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The minutes have been distributed by Charlie. You all have a copy of the minutes. Do I hear any corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, may I have a motion for their approval, please? Thank you, Scott. A second. Thank you, Sam. All in favor? Aye. The next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report from Sid, but he's not here tonight. From now on, we'll have the treasurer's report, and I've also asked Sid to also include a tabulations of donations made year to date with his report, and he's agreed to do so. Tonight we are pleased to have a speaker, Bill Bowman, who will give a great presentation, I'm assured, about his current projects. Bill, I'm going to ask you to step up and present your information. Thank you.
Hi folks, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. I was asked by Dave to come speak today about some ministries that I have and a little bit about my testimony. It's funny because I don't like talking about myself at all, but I'd like to give you some background. I'm 57 right now, 57 years old, and most of my life and my upbringing, obviously my father was a big part of that. He taught me several things I think are good core things, but I think they're kind of out of line a little bit. He taught me family's important. You know, family's one of the most important things. Your friends, working hard. He worked hard. He worked several jobs all the time. Taught me to be tough. Taught me don't let them see you crying. You know, you get married, you be faithful to your wife. My dad loved kids, and he kind of instilled that into me, taking care of kids and loving kids. But I had struggled in my earlier, after my wife and I had married and had a couple kids, we had a little family thing going on, and we had some struggles, and I had a lot of, I hate to say it, but hatred in my heart, and you know, I wanted to have some vengeance on some things that were going on. And I remember sleeping in my bed one night, and because of all these things coming, you know, together at the same time, I was thinking I was having a heart attack. It felt like there was a car on my chest, and I remember that was the first time I ever, you know, my dad taught me about God. He said, you know, there's God out there, and everybody knows there's a God, but at that night, I really thought I was going to die, and I had prayed for the first time in my life that if there was a God, he would take this from me. And instantly it was gone. That sounds like a miracle, and you know, it was a miracle. But from that point on, I started to, I wanted to study the Bible, wanted to learn more, started going to church. And you know, God's so amazing. He puts people in your life that can steer you in certain directions. And that's what he did with me. So a little bit more about what I've done is I started fostering children, my wife and I. We've done that for about 30 close to 30 years. We've probably had 200 and some kids live with us, some short term, some long term. We've gotten into recently adopting kids as opposed to just fostering them, trying to give them a permanent home. So we have 6 kids we have adopted. I had 3 natural born, 6 that we have adopted. Got one more on, he's on getting ready to go to court to be adopted. So we have a big family, needless to say. But, we've learned a lot from that. Every family, I think, has some dysfunctionality in it. And, we were not exempt from that. So these kids all come with problems. And, that's one of our biggest ministries is taking care of these kids. But in doing that, I also got involved in a outreach program in the city of Pittsburgh. It was called His Place. A friend of ours ran it from the church, and she reached out to me, and she said, hey, would you be willing to teach kids one night a week, downtown Pittsburgh, and they're inner city kids. And most of them were troubled kids, but I said, yeah, I mean, I don't have a teaching degree, but I could teach them, a little bit about Jesus and God, and, teach them how to maybe be a good society member. So I started that, and I remember that went for a few weeks, and then her name was Debbie, this lady that ran it, she said, Bill, would you be willing to come down with me to the north side, down in one park down there, and we want to feed hot chocolate and, give socks to, this was in the wintertime, to some of the homeless people. And I wound up saying, yeah, I'll go down with you. I didn't think, much of it. And that's where I kind of got punched in the gut or punched in the face when I seen like how much homelessness there is. I mean, a lot of people showed up for hot chocolate and socks. It's amazing. So did that with her a couple times, and then I kind of told my wife about it, and she says, well, why don't we do something like that? But we wanted to take it a little step further. We started preparing meals. We'd cook soup, took bread, we took clothing down there. We reached out to different churches and had a lot of people supply us with things to take down there. And I'll never forget, it just like grew so big, and it almost bankrupted me and my household, because I got more involved in that. I actually missed paying a mortgage payment one month because I was worried about doing all this stuff, and that's what I try and tell people, that homelessness, it could happen to anybody. I mean, you could have everything set, you can have a nice home, everything, and a good job, and I'm telling you, something could happen and strike you down, and you could find yourself being homeless. Now, most of those people have addictions, and I hear a lot of people say, well, they chose that life. I don't think they all chose that life, but I don't think anybody would chose living in the cold winter on a street or on a park bench. Or so anyway, we got tied up with Light of Life. We helped there, and we've been doing this for 15 years. And I'll never forget being down there one day, and I always try and spread the love with Jesus to people, and tell them that there's hope in their lives, and trying to get them to change their ways. I mean, I needed to change. These people, this one guy came up to me, we were feeding, and he'd been there a couple times, and he came up to me, and I usually led with a prayer, talk to people who, I have my Bible. I mean, that's our sword. We take that with us, and I explain to them, different scriptures sometimes. But I remember saying one thing to the guy, and said, God loves you, and He wants you to turn towards Him. And this guy walked up to me afterwards, after I was done speaking, and he said, he had tears in his eyes. He was actually crying. He says, you know something, Bill? Tonight was going to be my last night. He goes, I was planning to kill himself, jump off a bridge into the river, until he had heard that message. And then he said he wanted to change. I mean, we steered him in the right direction. We work with a lot of outreach programs, and he got into a program, and it was good to see him years later. he was doing the same thing I was doing. So that's basically what I have as a ministry, as we do feed the homeless. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 15 years. We always feed it with spiritual messages also, because just food and clothing, it doesn't really give you the hope. It helps them, but it doesn't give them the hope. And children, I mean, I was talking to Dave, I got 5 children under the age of 10 right now. 3 of them are adopted, one's going to be adopted, and then the last one just long-term placement with me. And every one of them has special needs. They're like crazy little kids running around. And my wife, God bless her, she does most of this work, and I'm just trying to support her. But we've touched, I think, in a good way, probably touched many lives just through showing love. That's all. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I'd be happy to answer.
Well, first, thank you for a great presentation. It's amazing. I believe you count your experience as a revelation.
Yes.
Yes, I guess it's like St. Paul on his journey to Damascus when the Spirit visited him. Would you say that's similar?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, you were touched by the hand of God. Anyway, and these homeless children types of situations, what is their age group, or the homeless people that you treat?
Well, the homeless people that we treat down in the north side, they're all ages. Now, the ones we bring into our home are children. We've had teens all the way down to infants. So, like I said, it was close to 200 kids, probably more than that, but yeah, we've there's all different ranges.
And how do you get your food supplies to feed them?
Well, okay, so through foster care, we have a subsidy from the state that helps with that. It's not a lot, but it does, help take care of the kids. We're also involved with food banks. Meals on Wheels donates some food to us. We use that for the community, for the people, though.
And where is this actually located?
Well, I am in Independence Township, and we have a farm there. We have 34 acres, which the kids, that's where we bought this place to glorify God and bring kids there so they would be out of the city and be in a good place to live. And so we do most of our work there. All the other work is done downtown Pittsburgh, right across from the Light of Life mission, which right now we're on hold with that because of the pandemic. So those people are being taken care of, but we'd like to get back and see people and feed them spiritual knowledge.
Now, I think the Light of Light mission has a similar goal.
Yes, they do.
And so how do you interact with the Light of Light mission?
Well, my wife, she goes over and she argues with them. They love my wife, and they'll give us anything, and we'll do anything for them. So we're on good terms. However, we both do the same ministry. Now they're a little more tailored towards, state funding and other funding, but they know we're down there. They, like I said, they help us out in any way they can. They'll give us plates or something, or water if we needed water or whatever. But yeah, a lot of times, it's a good hike down to the north side from our house, and sometimes you get down there, you don't have some things you need, so we depend on them. They
Use a
depend on
van or something like that? Or?
Yeah, we have I have a big 15-passenger van.
Yeah, right,
Yep.
right. David, you had a question?
I just remember we used to go down and do the service, like go feed the people and then go over do the church service so that people can spend the night.
Yeah.
And that was kind of all related at the different times. So they work together with, a lot of the people that go there spend the night. So they have to go to a church service so they can get a car.
Right.
And it was kind of working in conjunction a few times.
Yep. Yeah, Light of Life is a good program.
Now, is your group a diversified group?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we reach out to different churches. My wife organizes all that because I work a full-time job, and she no longer does her business.
Maybe
so.
we should have had your wife come here to speak that.
I was going to, but she's watching 5 little kids under the age of 10. So.
They should have come with us.
Yeah. Well.
We tried, but
You tried, yeah.
she's got a lot on her plate.
Sure, I can imagine.
We'll have her back.
Oh yeah, she's.
if you want her.
And what can we help you with, since you're here tonight? What would you suggest? Do you have any recommendations or things
Well,
of that nature?
Our the ministry with feeding the homeless, we get some donations for food now. Like I said, we're not doing that currently because we were asked by the authorities not to, obviously everybody gathered together. So they work on those people right now in different programs and have them shelter. But it's also summer, so with our kids, well, 5 kids, we're always.
Any help would be gratefully
Yes,
appreciated.
anything. Biggest thing, and I'm just being honest here, is I'd like to get my wife a little bit of peace from that everyday rigmarole with those kids. One night.
Actually, what he's asking for is volunteers to take care of the
Babysitters,
kids.
yeah.
Yes. Everyone.
You're not going to get anybody to do that. Not these. But yeah, I mean that would be the big thing. Trying to figure out something to just get a little relief. And we do have organization we could reach out to for respite,
care.
take the kids and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I just appreciate Dave having me here to
I
talk.
can help you get a night out on the town.
Yeah,
Work
sure.
that
And then
out.
he won't be my friend anymore.
Well, again, any further questions from our group? Wayne, Rich, Sam? Go ahead, Sam.
I just have a question. Sounds like you do wonderful things. And I'm sure it's heartbreaking sometimes when kids don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, or you hope that they could. Do you monitor, years go by and people that you've helped, and is there any kind of success ratio, or do they end up helping others?
The success ratio is very low, which you could imagine, right? And you just continue to try. The baby I have right now, she's going to turn 3 next month. Her mother was a teen. She had her at 15. She was living with me, and I was supposed to adopt her. She has decided to go back to her whole life, and there's drugs involved and all that, and she left our house. So there's one of those stories that I can't call a success. Now I have her child for long term, which is good because she'd never be able to take care of her. She's autistic and some other things, and
Do you track their educational system? I mean, have they graduated from high school?
yeah.
Any
Well,
gone on to college?
yep, the 3 I adopted originally first after my 3 children are all working good jobs. They went to college.
So that's a measure of
Yeah.
success.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to say it's all bad. There's a lot of good too. Even just one success story is amazing. It makes you feel like you're doing the work you should be doing. So.
Jim, you had a question? Tom? Anyone else? Well, again, a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Very much. Thank you. Okay, we'll proceed with our formal meeting at this point in time. Halloween parade update. That's the big subject. Scott and Wayne, you want to give us an update?
Well, there's not gonna be a parade. Okay, the borough can't allow it because of the restrictions. They will allow us to pass out candy bags, as long as we follow all the state guidelines. Now, this is gonna be a problem because we can't use the borough hall, so we have no place to assemble the bags. And then the other problem is the distribution. We had suggested maybe setting up 5 tables on the borough's lawn and having bags at each of the tables, and then the people would come down between 10 and 12 to pick up their bags.
Does the borough agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that is one issue that's been concluded. How about the location of assembling the bags?
That problem. Well, the problem is, okay, we always did it at the borough hall, in the borough chambers, and we just filled the bags, we put them in recycling bins, and then the borough crew would bring them downstairs for us. Now, the borough can't use borough chambers because they said the building's closed.
Any suggestions like the library or a church or something of that nature?
Well, the problem is, okay, Ed, is, one, we gotta bring all this stuff in, and then we gotta have vehicles to get it all out of there.
Yes.
How about the fire department? You know, they were very good to us the last time. You could possibly use a trucker. That allowed.
That's a superb idea, fire department.
But you're right there.
The question is, I have about that is, since the borough says the building's closed, is that,
Well,
that
firemen
comes in part of it?
Firemen's different than the borough.
I didn't know that, are they?
Yes.
Back to the station, for him, maybe that would be the ideal place.
So why don't, Scott and Wayne, why don't we check with the fire department? Is that possible?
I have like a folding table, everyone has this folding table, a long folding table.
Well, the main issue is to get their permission first. I think we can all come up with folding tables. So why don't Wayne and Scott, organize something, check with the fire department. And if that's possible, I think we've solved the problem then. Graham?
What are we gonna do about donations for the gaming?
Well, the letter's gotta be totally redone.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't you, Jim, helped with the letter, writing the letter, why don't you coordinate with Wayne and Scott? And you can develop a letter that you can present to their committee, present it to their committee for their satisfaction. Then after everything's arranged, you can bring it back to our meeting. I think that, and then we can discuss things of the,
Everybody has masks on, okay, so we'll just buy a box of,
I have gloves. I think they're in the,
okay. Both of you, gloves, and everybody has their own mask. But we have to have in the ads, okay, the people coming down have to have masks on.
right, well, that'll be a later step. By the way, how about the Salvation Army ringing? Is that around Halloween too, or is that only at Christmas?
How do we control them at that 250 number? Do we have people maybe get tickets in advance?
Well, if we're doing 10 to 12, you think they're all gonna come down at the same time?
Yeah. Human nature, that just scares me.
They don't want to be there, they don't want to be
Everyone
there.
says we go at noon.
80% will come at the same time.
Then the only thing we can do is have enough Rotarians out there to start spacing people out.
In fact, Wayne, do you think it should be mandatory that people come in cars?
Well, if we do it, it would be.
If we do it, it would be mandatory. It's gonna be a drive-by, okay, to pick up.
Just strictly a drive-by, so
Yeah.
So people get food.
develop the letter.
Exactly.
I
and-
think that's the best way to
That's
go
how I've
with
been,
it.
That's smart.
that's how I've been conducting
That's smart.
business for 6
Well,
months.
do you think we should let council know, because they're under the impression we're gonna do the 5 tables?
Yeah, I know. You and I will have to get with Jeff and
Yeah.
tell him what we're thinking, okay?
Yeah. I
Because they
think-
want a game plan before we actually put it into the Herald.
Yeah, and I think they'll like this even better.
And what about?
I don't think the borough will have a problem with
No.
the drive-by,
No,
Not
I
at all.
agree.
because we have no crowds, no nothing.
Yep.
What about that procedure? Should we have it advertised in the Herald? Or
Yeah.
something like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the plan is
You could have
to
entertainment,
contact
like a
the
little stage.
fire company, and number 2, Jim, for you to develop a letter.
Yeah, I'll work on the letter.
And present the
And then-
letter to both Wayne and Scott.
And Wayne and Scott are gonna talk with council to see if
Council.
the drive-by okay is good. or
What
not.
do you think on the bags, Jimmy? Okay, now, we're not gonna have the band, so that's,
Right,
what, 75 bags there?
right. What do we normally do, 400?
We did,
400.
close to 500 last year.
Yeah, I'd say,
400?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
400, when we're done, we're done.
yeah.
And
If
we
they
run
were
out-
picking them up, we'd have to hold it 250, but if we're doing drive-by, we can do full 400, we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's,
Depends on how much money we get into from vendors.
well, even if we don't raise enough money, I think the club should pay the difference, so we do the bags the way we always done.
Yeah, or you could make them a little lighter, I mean, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna like.
Well, let me tell you, we had a lot of compliments on the bags
I
that we
know.
put out from council,
Oh, okay,
okay?
That helps.
They said, you guys don't put out a cheap bag.
no.
What is the annual cost to the club for the distribution of the candy?
About 1,100 bucks.
No,
1,100.
No, it's what we raise.
Whatever we raise. Roughly 2,000.
Usually like 2,000 to
We just
2,500.
Last year was close to 2,000.
Okay.
Remember, we're not gonna have the hot dogs and all that kind of crap that we had.
Yeah, we're not paying for the hot dogs and the chips and the
And the
drinking
drinks.
this time, so there's extra money we can throw in there.
I agree.
So I
Yeah,
would,
right, I remember the
I would-
candy was about 1,100 to 1,200 bucks, something like
Yeah.
that.
I would
don't know where
suggest
you
that
were.
we don't close.
Okay, well, the conclusion to finalize our statement, Wayne and Scott will get together with Jim, contact the fire insurance company, contact the borough, and develop a plan and present the plan back to us either next week or the following week. Is that okay?
It'll have to be next
It'll
week.
be, yeah,
Next
it'll have to
week?
be next
We
week.
gotta
Alright,
get
next
those letters
week.
going.
All right, so we expect to have an update next week then, okay? Jim, okay with that?
Yes.
All right, good. Thank you, Jim.
I just wanna make one comment. I would hope that we don't try to squeeze down the number of bags that we have. I would rather have excess bags and we can donate them.
Right.
To even Bill's group or some other group where they can distribute any excess that we have.
Yeah, well, if we pull like the normal band off of it and go with, like you said, 400 instead of 475 or 500, we should be fine because it's all the same people showing up, so.
You're gonna have a little bit of an element of reduced
Little bit.
reduction.
Yeah,
because of
exactly,
the
because of
environment.
COVID, you might have less.
Might have less because of
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah.
One other challenge I have, when you go through this analysis, just perform your reports to the committee, Wayne and Scott's committee. Don't send all the emails out, because I'm getting tons of emails, multiple emails on certain subjects that I don't want to read anymore. So limit the number of emails.
We'll just take you off the list, Ed.
Just delete me.
Off the list, you know. Next subject, dictionary project update. Scott, Graham, tell me about the dictionaries.
You got them?
You
Well,
ordered them.
You order
Yeah,
them?
they're ordered.
Okay,
Okay, they'll be in here in about 2 weeks' time.
all right.
Okay, Kevin was to pick up the labels, stickers
There they are.
today, right?
He told me
So
that.
we'll have to pick them up. We'll have to get them from him.
Does he have them already?
No, but he told me to say yes.
He was
I
going to
saw
have
him.
them today. Yeah,
He,
pick 'em
they
up
are at
today.
RNS. They're done.
Okay, so they're done?
Yeah.
Don't forget the dates to remember, the district conference,
Oh, yeah.
October 1 to 4, 7 Springs, and the meeting at Chattanooga Country Club on October the 22nd. Any other things to go discuss? Rich, any comments?
Well, we've got the district conference, if anyone's interested, October 4th, around there. Keep that in mind, 7 Spring, if anyone's interested in going up.
Sam, Graham, Scott,
I have a couple things.
go ahead.
So I was thinking, we usually do like a improved student during the school year and they get a prize or whatever scholarship. What about if we, for elementary kids, it could be improved attendance or perfect attendance or something from January through whenever they go back into school physically, or grade point average or something. One family from each school, we pay for a day at Kennywood or a day at the zoo or something like that. I was just thinking, you know, we'd award that next spring sometime.
I think we'll table that discussion till next week, if possible.
And I have,
Develop it in a plan, you know, in
Yeah.
a document that can be distributed to us.
email to you.
No, bring it to our meeting, okay?
And then the second thing, what I was thinking, down to Quaker Valley High School field, Chuck Knox Stadium, now that fans are allowed in to the stadium, what about if we put a banner up? I noticed all sorts of sponsor banners down there. What about one that says like, "Go Quakers, Quaker Valley Rotary Club"?
Same kid the same kid from out of town who took our sign will probably take a banner too.
No, all these high schools do that.
I'm like being facetious.
It
I looked in
supports
that
the-
catalog, it's $96 for like a 3-foot by 7-foot banner or something like that.
Good advertising, and all these high schools sell, because I used to have to sell them, banners or something to have.
Sounds like a reasonable suggestion.
It's a good job.
I moved
really
to
good
buy a
idea.
banner for Quaker Valley Stadium.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Is there a
I like
second?
that idea. Rich second.
Okay.
Any concerns about the banner? Who's gonna put the banner up?
Yeah.
They will. They will.
Yeah, I have a voicemail into the athletic director, to get the approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the last thing, I have that big presentation check coming in tomorrow that we
Yeah.
talked about. It's a 2 foot by 4 foot check. Has our address in the top left corner, paid to, just like a blank check. So that'll be in tomorrow.
It's reusable.
Yeah, it's reusable.
I would like to just echo, I mean, put me to work. I wanna help you guys with that type of thing, cause it's what I'm trying to align myself with anyways, it's just community
Okay.
involvement and stuff, so.
Good. Not a problem. We'll drag you
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
You're in.
Mr. President-elect Matt didn't make it.
There you go.
Jim, anything for the good of the order?
No, good.
Charlie, spelled with an I-E?
Yes, thanks, Ed, spelled with an ED. Anyhow, Graham, how much were the dictionaries?
$576.
Yeah,
Print out
576.
the invoice to give to Sid.
It's already been sent to you. Okay. You got a copy of it too.
No, I have nothing to report.
Do we have to
Anything
come
else?
up with a plan B, or
Going
they-
once?
No.
Going twice?
Find out
We
next
will
week.
have.
All right, the meeting is adjourned, and now we have entertainment for us.
Some people are really good at watching magic. Some people aren't so good at watching magic. So I always like to do a little test, like a little prep to get ready for the show. So I call this my wheel of hypnosis. So what I do is I take this out. It doesn't necessarily hypnotize all of you guys, but we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. There's 26 eyes here total, okay? And we might have more eyes if we go virtual when people are actually watching from home or something. So what I want to do is I'm going to have all of you guys, all 26 eyes, stare into the center of the wheel, okay? Everyone stare right into the center. Okay, don't take your eyes off of it, okay? You have to follow instructions real closely. What this does is it preps everyone's brain and it preps everyone's mind for the magic that I'm about to show you. So just stare right into the center. Don't take your eyes off it, not even for a moment, or this might not work correctly. Keep staring. Keep staring. Right into the center. Relax your eyes. Relax all the muscles in your brain. Keep staring. Try not to look away. Go into a deep trance in your mind. Keep staring. I'm going to count backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, it's very important to look at the center of my head. Did you guys see some? Show of hands. How many of you saw something happen? So I'm going to come over here so you guys can all see up close. Okay, that's my specialty, is close-up magic. So make sure, number one, that my fingers don't leave my wrists and my elbows don't leave my arms under any circumstances. Okay, you go back and forth. It has to be right in the center or it won't work. Right in the center, right in the center. I just keep going and watch what happens. Eventually, my finger will melt right through it like butter. Now, settle down. It gets better. Okay. This is like an infomercial. There's more. Okay, Pops? Check it out. Watch. I put one in the left, one in the right, and all I do is just a knock. That's it. I use my magic breath. Ed, magic breath. That was magic spit. That was gross, but that's okay. It works anyway. It's kind of cool. See, it's pretty hard, but watch. Look. It goes straight through, jumps right over here. I'll do it again, even though you didn't ask. Are you ready? I'll keep one hand on this table, one hand on this table. You ready? Here we go. Gently. There it is. Anyone catch me? Anyone?
I didn't see anything.
You gotta be quick with me. Check it out. They traded places. That's unbelievable, right? Works better at the bar, Ed. Works better. I feel something weird happening. Look, look, look. Watch mine. Look. Go on. Did you feel anything kind of goofy? A little bit?
No, but if I have 2 balls, that's weird.
Open it up. Take a look. Don't let go. Don't let go. Keep them both. Keep them both. Squeeze tight. Put your hand just like it was. Don't even let me near your hand. You got both of my balls, right? All right.
I always wanted.
Yeah, not the blue ones, the orange ones, okay? It's a PG-13 show. But watch, this one here, this is kind of cool. Ed, you have a close-up view at this. Ready? Watch. Blowing it once. Check it out. Watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Close. Like I said in the very beginning, you have to watch a magician's hands closely. You see it go? Open your hand and take a look. Check it out.
No way.
Yeah! That's one. That's two. That's three. Now here's where it gets really nuts. Just a test of observation to see how close everyone's watching. If I put one in the pocket, one in the hand, and one in the pocket. Just a test. Ed, how many in the pocket?
2 to 3.
How many in the hand?
2 to 3.
I'll start over. We'll do it again. Let's do it again. Okay.
That's right.
I'm not supposed to repeat the same trick twice, but I will. This trick takes a lot of balls. I suppose. That's one. Sorry. One in the pocket, one in the hand, and one in the pocket. Okay. So that's 2 in the pocket, 1 in the hand. If you want, I'll start over. We'll do it one more time. Hold on 1 sec. One more time. Look.
Empty your pockets.
What? I told you, Tom. There's a couple balls in there, but they're not red.
Oh my God.
1 in the pocket. Check it out. 1 in the hand, 1 in the pocket. How many in the pocket?
2.
How many in the hand?
1.
You catching on yet? Just as you catch on, the trick is over completely. Can you give Tom a little golf clap, please, for helping out? All right. Now, I have a grand finale illusion I want to do for you guys. And I did a couple card tricks a couple weeks ago for you guys, and it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it. And I always like to, it helps build dexterity cards for magicians because, and it looks cool. Just doing stuff like that, right? You guys know what that's called when I do that? Let's get that up close with the camera. Anyone know what that's called? I'll take that as a no. It's called evidence of a lonely childhood. That's what it's called. Right, but I'll cut the cards.
They do it at the rivers before they take my mortgage payment.
Right. Tom, I'm going to have you cut the cards. Just give them a cut anywhere you like. Doesn't matter, okay? There you go. You want to cut them again or leave them? It's up to you.
Leave it.
You want to change your mind?
No.
You're happy with the mind you have?
Oh yeah.
That's just a joke. My jokes aren't as good as my magic. I'll give them a one-handed cut and 3 fancy cuts, okay? Now, I want to tell you guys a story, actually. This is a really, really cool story. One of my favorite stories. Have you ever heard the story of Sam the Bellhop and the 654 Club? Anyone?
No.
Okay. Well, this is a really cool story, Sam. Check it out. Look, Sam actually owned his own restaurant. His name was Sam, too. It was right down the street from the 654 Club. And one day it was really, really slow. There was no one there. And check this out. Look, the 2 big front doors of the restaurant, they opened up really wide, and in walked 4 guys. They were dressed like kings. This is what they look like. Check it out. It gets better, Ed. There were the Kings are hanging out with Sam. They're having a good time. They said, and he said, you know what, Sam, can you run down the street, maybe find us some ladies to help the time go by? And he looks at his watch. He says, it's still a little early. I'll tell you what, I'll see what I can do, okay? So the cards had to be cut, of course. Can you cut the cards for me? And Sam had to take a walk in order to complete this task. So Sam took a walk around 1 block. He took a walk around 2 blocks. Took a walk, of course, around 3 blocks. And he said, you know what, I made my way back. I found you 4 ladies. I found you 2 brunettes and 2 redheads. He said, they're beautiful, Sam. He said, that's unbelievable. He said, where'd you find them? He said, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. They were actually hanging out right down the street at the 654 Club. He said, that's so awesome. He said, we're going to give you a $2 tip for your trouble. So they're loving this Sam guy. He's doing them all these favors. But then they want to get a poker game going. They said, Sam, can you run down the street, find us some poker players? He looks at his watch. He says, it's still a little early. I'll see what I can do. So the cards had to be cut, of course. So the cards were cut. Want to cut them again or leave them? No. Okay, so the cards were, you guys trust me too much. I lie for a living. You're not supposed to trust me. He went around 1 block. He went around 2 blocks. He went around 3 blocks, and he said, you know what, believe it or not, I found you 4 guys, but I got a small problem. They're all named Jack. Is that okay? He said, yeah, that's fine with me. No problem. He said, where'd you find them? He said, you're not going to believe it. They were right down the street at the 654 Club. He said, that is so cool. We're going to give you another $2 tip for your troubles. So they're loving this Sam guy. They're all having a great time. And that, Sam, do you do this many favors for people? I know. Well, they're loving it, and they're, you know what, then there's a little trouble. The Kings run into trouble with the Queens. They owe them $40. All they have is a paper check, no cash. They said, Sam, can you run down to the bank, cash a check, and get us some 20s? Or get us one of those real big checks like you guys have. So, yeah, he said, that's fine. I think I can make it to the bank just in time. So, Ed, can you cut the cards? So the cards were cut, and Sam, of course, had to take a little walk again. So Sam, I don't know, he didn't know if he was going to make it in time, but he went around 1 block, of course. 2 blocks, and he even made a left down Crimp Street, and he said, you know what, believe it or not, I found you some change, but there's another small problem. They were all out of 20s. I had to get you 4 10s. Is that okay? He said, yeah, that's fine with me. No problem. He said, you know what we're going to do? You're such a nice...
They forgot to give him a tip.
Oh, you're right. Let me give him a tip for you. There it is, the $2 tip, man. You reminded them. That's good. So now they're really loving this Sam guy, but to be honest, they're losing all their gratitude because he's doing them all these favors. They haven't even got to know the guy yet. They said, Sam, you look like a young guy. He said, young. He said, yeah. I'd say like 38. He said, you're close. I'm 39. He said, that's cool. He said, do you live around here? He said, absolutely not. I live in a classy part of town. I live at 1329 West 8th Street. He said, that is so cool. He said, do you ever play cards? Do you ever gamble? He said, I gamble every night at the 654 Club. He said, that's cool. You ever see any good hands? He said, I see good hands every week. He said, the other week, someone had 3 7s and a pair of 8s. He said, that's a full house. Did he win? He said, no, there was another Sam there. He had 3 aces and a pair of 9s. They said, that's unbelievable. Did he win? They said, no, of course not. There was a magician there. His name was Magic Man T.J. Hill, and he had a straight flush. And that's the story of Sam the Bellhop and the 654 Club. Wow. Never heard that story.
No.
Wow.
That was great.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank the Rotary Club for having me back one more time. I hope you guys had a good laugh, and I hope you enjoyed the close-up magic. I hope you guys had a great time. Thank Dave for bringing me out. Ed, thanks for the wonderful introduction.